right? And so one of the questions I encourage people to ask is, both as leaders, or the reverse shift is to ask our leaders, is on a scale of 1 to 10, how much autonomy do you think that you've granted me? If I'm a leader, I can approach someone and say, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much autonomy do you think I've granted you? And I had this as a CEO, right? I was not the controlling shareholder of my business. The controlling shareholder was actually my father. And he thought that he gave me a lot of autonomy, but I would have said, if he would have asked me on a scale of 1 to 10, how much autonomy do you think you have? I would say a 4. Like, I had very tactical autonomy, but if it came to like investing $1 million in a new product, admittedly, the amount of the conflict that we had between us, it just felt like getting a major decision like that actually made was just never going to happen. And ultimately, that was why I left the company. I was like, this company needs a CEO who actually is going to be able to make the calls that a CEO should be able to make of a company of our size. But so the point is that often when we have a manager or a boss who micromanages us, that boss is not aware that we feel micromanaged. So the first step is to get clarity and alignment on, well, if the boss says, yeah, I think I give you autonomy 9, and you think it's a 4, then let's start to have a conversation about that first. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
And so in the book, I go into details about something I call a table of trust, or a table of autonomy, which is something that actually I took from publicly owned companies. Actually have a table of autonomy for CEOs. So you can actually spell out in an email, well, here's the autonomy that you have. And so I can use it as a leader to actually, almost as a double check or a check and balance on my own tendency to micromanage. Because if I say, Brandon, here's the deal, I'm going to give you autonomy to make decisions up to $50,000 or whatever it may be, and we just put that in a little email between us. Now I have like and I say, Brandon, you tell me if you feel that I'm overstepping that autonomy that I've just granted you, then let's have a conversation about it. So again, it's another simple tool where the same talk shift could be applied as a leader down, or as someone upwards to their boss. And then this is the last thing about the reverse shifts that I think is really important, is I'm sure you've got a lot of higher achievers on your who are listeners.
Yeah.
If I want to accelerate my own shift, the best thing I can do is give the reverse shifts to the people around me, because they'll hold me accountable for actually doing these things.
Oh, nice.
Right. And the same thing if it's a marriage or children. That's what this whole Leaders Creed is about. It's about actually essentially having a 15-minute conversation with someone and saying, I'm giving you permission to call me out on these 10 things.